Still though, I wouldn't know what to look for anyway. If we tore the whole place apart and figured out what was different from before, we might be able to speculate, but there was nothing strange about this room and there was no clues in sight. In the first place, I'd never been here before. There was no way for me to know what was different if I didn't know how the room usually looked. Hey, don't give up, Keiichi, my bara. Stop thinking and start looking. Now, I'm like partially expecting it to go into like Karen or Shoujo kind of thing. It's like the dialogue just suddenly disappears. It's like investigation time. It's like click on that, and then you say it's like this and that and blah. It's like this and that and blah. If you haven't read Karen or Shoujo or Karen or Shoujo 2, I'm not sure if Katagra, which is the prequel to Karen or Shoujo, had the same thing. It might have. But if you've played any of those, you'll probably get what I'm referencing there. In search of something, I tried pulling open the dresser drawers and opened the windows. Have we even heard this track before? I mean, it's been playing for a while now, but I don't think it's played at all till this point. It might have at one point, I don't remember it though. I didn't uncover anything meaningful there. I tried pulling open the dresser drawers and opened the windows. Rena, also unable to stand around doing nothing, was looking around the room like I was. Rena, I don't think you'll find Rika-chan by opening the refrigerator or the cabinet underneath the sink. I just thought they might be hiding. As Zui was searching, it got noisy outside. Villagers were quickly assembling here, having heard the commotion. Of course, a lot of them were probably people Mion had called. I'll go tell everyone what's going on. The police will be here sooner or later too. We'll need to explain the situation to Oishi. Mion began descending the stairs and we followed her out to the front of the house. There were already around 10 adults there, and all of them looked uneasy. I suddenly noticed that the old people from the shrine were here as well, and they were praying for Rika-chan's safety, rubbing their prayer beads. This had gotten bad. This wasn't just a problem between friends anymore. Mion-chan, is it true that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan aren't anywhere to be found? The villagers all formed a ring around Mion's, holding her. Mion raised the right hand as if silently telling them to calm down. First, let's check every house according to the town's council notification vision and see if they're visiting anyone. After all, they could be fast asleep at someone's house and totally unaware that we're looking for them. It would definitely be hard for someone to wake up Rika-chan if she had eaten a good full meal and fallen asleep like a kitten afterwards. Oh, how nice it would be if that were the case. I don't want to think about this, but it's also possible something bad has happened. Mion's face grew remarkably more grim and a wave of silence washed over the adults. We should divide up the work too. We'll go around to all the places we were last night while looking for the mayor. We'll go look around the damn construction site as best we can. You guys go search around the school. Right. Let's get a move on. Come on, let's go. All of you are up all night looking for the mayor. I know you're all low on sleep, but please do your best. Got it. Aware of that, as their signal, the adults scattered in every direction. I figured I should scatter somewhere as well, so I started walking unsteadily in a direction no one else was going in. I was getting further and further from people. I didn't feel scared or anything, though. If someone were made to disappear, Shion and I would be first. It would have been perfectly normal for me to be scared of the dark. However, I didn't feel that way. Why was that? It was because tonight, someone had already disappeared. So nobody else would disappear tonight. It would take some time before I, exhausted as I was, would feel guilt at the cause of my own selfish sense of relief. Higurashi when they cry. You see why I said that Watanagashi is more disturbing than Onikakushi? I mean, what Onikakushi was messed up, but man, Watanagashi, you can't deny it, man. It's like, and wait till we get to the answer arc, it gets worse. It's the only answer arc that like pretty much goes over the exact scenario. Like, all the other answer arcs are kind of just similar scenarios that answer the previous question and kind of develop things more. This one, though, has an answer arc that's, like, directly connected. Suddenly my vision cleared and a cold wind caressed my body. This was the hill from which you could see the whole village. Looking down from this hill, I could see lights on here and there, and knew that the entire village had awoken from its slumber. First Takuma-san and Tomitake-san, then the mayor, and now even Rika-chan and Satoko had been sacrificed, and the word of it was spreading everywhere. The strength in my knees left me. This could no longer be a joke. We could have found them. Mion would have told me I was a worrywart. Rena would just be glad we did, and they would have smiled at me. My hopes disappeared as if I were awakening from a dream. That was what the view I could see was telling me. Following my knees, my arms both bent forward onto the ground, and I clawed at it with my nails. I couldn't figure out if I was feeling sorrow or frustration. This is my fault. I couldn't endure the burden of my own sin, and I had just told Rika-chan about it. It had nothing to do with it, but Rika-chan and even Satoko been sacrificed. It was like a cross that Shun and I would each have to bear the weight of until we ourselves were erased. Well, from going that far, when the problem started long before that. My original sin, breaking taboo, and entering a ritual storehouse without asking. I knew I shouldn't have gone in there from the start, yet I lost out the cheap curiosity. I hadn't felt so angry at myself until this very moment. There was a crunching sound. I wasn't even interested in who made the noise. I just wondered as I was.
Keiichi-kun! Keiichi-kun! Are you okay?
It was Rena. Perhaps my clawing at the ground made it look as though I was having stomach pains. She ran over and rubbed my back like she was trying to make me feel better. This is all my fault. It's because of me. It's my fault.
Keiichi-kun's fault? You didn't do anything wrong. Please don't blame yourself for this.
I could tell Rena was doing her best to choose the right words out of consideration for me. That's why I could sense her intent behind those words. Keiichi-kun, you know why Rika-chan and Satoko-chan disappeared, don't you? Is what she really meant to say. Because it was an emergency, Rena had ignored the reason why I wanted to make sure Rika-chan was safe, but now that we'd actually confirmed the disappearance, it was only natural Rena would start to wonder about why. However, though the situation hadn't gone this far, I couldn't possibly tell her now. I didn't want to admit that Rika-chan and Satoko had disappeared, but I couldn't let Rena disappear either.
Keiichi-kun, if you stay out here in the wind, you'll catch a cold.
Rena sat down, bringing her eyes level with mine.
They told us that children should go back home to sleep.
Rena showed me her watch as she said that. It was long past 1 in the morning. Time was passing too quickly. Had I been crawling around here for that long?
If we don't sleep soon, we'll have trouble getting up for school tomorrow. Even the adults are really worn out since they were up searching for the mail last night too. They were saying they'd break up a little earlier tonight.
I was a little upset that they weren't devoting as much time to this as they had to search for the mail last night. But that was something I, the cause of everything, had no right to criticize them for.
It's alright. The police arrived a little while ago. Look, there's police cars coming to the village right now.
Hearing that remark, I looked down at the village to see that there were indeed more cars than one I would normally expect at this hour, coming from the darkness on the other side of the mountain. However, none of their emergency lights were on. Of course, their sirens weren't wailing either. That's right. All the incidents that occurred right after Watanagashi were seen as the product of Oyashiro-sama's curse, and would be handled in secrecy. Rika-chan and Satoko too, their disappearances would end up exactly like the other serial incidents in the past. Unresolved, declared a mystery, and disappear from memory. Rika-chan's face, a sweet face like a Western doll's, would fade away. Satoko's smile, her energetic fanged smile, would fade away. The more I tried to remember them, the less I would be able to. deserved to be called an idiot dozens of times over, and it wouldn't be enough. I couldn't hold back the tears at my own sheer stupidity.
I don't know what you're blaming yourself for, Keiichi-kun. Could you just stop?
I wasn't about to deny it. I couldn't. Even so, I couldn't affirm it either. I wanted to at least keep Rena out of this. If she found out, she would become involved. Please, Rena, could you just leave me alone? Even if I went home, I wouldn't be able to sleep. If I couldn't get to sleep, then I at least wanted to search for Rika and Satoko until I collapsed. The entire village was looking, and yet they still hadn't been found. I don't think I'd be able to find them if I went looking alone at this point. Still, I had to do it. He disappeared because of me. I couldn't possibly go to sleep while other people are out there searching. I'd said that to myself in self-justification, but I soon realized that Rena was silently trying to find the meaning in my mumblings. I realized I had misspoken.
It's Keiichi-kun's fault. Why do you think that? Why?
That can't be. Keiichi-kun, you're not at fault. I was happy that Rena said these things to me. Wait, add that onto it then.
That can't be, Keiichi-kun. You're not at fault.
I mean, that kind of gives an indication that she's finished talking, but I guess these are kind of there as well. It was happy that Rena said these things to me, but she only did so because she didn't know the truth. If she knew that everything had been caused by my breaking taboo on the night of Watanagashi, then even Rena would curse my existence. However, I can't even allow for those curses. That would mean confessing my own crimes to Rena. If I spilled even one word of having stuck into the ritual storehouse on the night of Watanagashi, then even Rena could disappear tomorrow night. The gentle, spirited, almost joking, always howling, but at a time like this, the most dependable person in the world, Rena might disappear. I don't want that. Anything but that. This time I need to bear my own cross, alone.
Keiichi-kun, I know that you always have your friends in your heart. I can really understand feeling like you want to kick yourself. Rena knows, though, that it's not Keiichi-kun's fault. You didn't do anything wrong, Keiichi-kun, and I know that.
You know that? The shivering in my veins rushed up my back, to replace the sorrow in my heart with fear. I didn't tell her anything, did I? Maybe I accidentally said something that caused Rena to figure it out. This is bad. Now, Rena will disappear. Rena will disappear. Rena will disappear! Then Rena, the same way I always did, grabbed my head and began to pet it roughly.
Keiichi-kun, are you thinking that Rena might disappear now too? Because of Oyashiro-sama's curse?
She put more force into hand rubbing my head.
You don't need to worry about that. Rena isn't going anywhere. I promise.
Why? How can you say that with such confidence? I mean, someone's being sacrificed every night so far. There was no proof that it wouldn't happen again tomorrow night. There was even less proof, after all, that the sacrifice wouldn't be Rena. I don't care who you are. Just please, if you're going to erase someone, erase me first. Please, stop cruelly getting rid of people we're close to, like the mayor for Mion and Rika and Satoko for me. John's hysterical shouting came back to my mind. There must be a plan to kill us last of all. Not killing the first person who comes to mind. They start by killing those we're close to. Then after they've caused us so much pain, they'll kill us. That must be what they're doing. Rena, please don't disappear. Please don't. As long as I'm still here. I could no longer conceal the sobs welling up within me.
Come on, Keiichi-kun, crying doesn't suit you. Let's go back to the others. The housewives are cooking some miso soup for us. It'll warm you up and calm me down.
Rena prompted me to stand. I didn't have the energy to oppose her, so I stood as she urged me to. We returned to the shrine ground beside several gas stoves there with miso soup in big pots. The many villagers there sipped up the soup they were given in dead, stony silence. The expressions were absolutely exhausted. Everyone had just been running around the village until a little while ago. From the dreary looks on their faces, though, I assumed they hadn't come up with anything yet.
Kei-chan, where did it go? I was worried you disappeared too.
Sorry. Mion held out some miso soup for me, but I refused the offer. I didn't have much of an appetite.
Kei-chan, how is it? Did you find any clues?
Mion took a sip of her soup, her expression frank.
Not at all. School ended and they went home. Then the two of them went somewhere on their bicycles. Moreover, nobody ever saw them riding a bike, so...
When it gets dark out and him is out, people quickly vanish from the streets. Aside from adults hurrying back home from town in cars or on bicycles, it was normal to see absolutely nobody walking around outside. It wasn't at all strange that nobody had seen Rika-chan and Satoko riding their bikes.
It's the same last night with the mayor. There's no hope.
Mion's sympathetic tone prickled my nerves. That anger quickly subsided. She had been doing all sorts of things to try and find Rika-chan until just a second ago. If I asked her, she'd probably say she was all night last night too, looking for the mayor. She must have been far more fatigued than I was. Besides, what about me? I had spent the time hunched over in indecision all alone. I had no right to say anything about Mion.
Kei-chan, I know it's hard, but let's turn in for the night. We just decided we should break up the search for now. I think let's call it quits.
This is the end.
Oh no, of course not. Once it's bright out again, we'll do a thorough search with the police's help. They could have gone to Okamiya too. People are even saying we should go through all of Shitsupona City and investigate whether there are any witnesses for both the girls and the mayor. Anyway, what happened, Kei-chan? Where did it go off to? He vanished all of a sudden. I was really worried.
Suddenly I was on the receiving end, but I didn't have the willpower to respond. Sorry. I was able to careful.
Nothing happened. There wasn't anyone suspicious spying on or stalking you. Nothing like that.
Mion demanded with a serious expression. I was being criticized for how inconsiderate I had been. Despite being in so much pain, I was frustrated that I was being criticized, but it was my sin. My sin and I must bear to learn. Nothing. I'll be careful either way. Sorry. Mion, now aware that nothing has happened, heaved a big sigh over her shoulders, looking relieved. Oh my. I know I smelled something good coming from over here. I'd be much obliged if you'd allow me to have some. I heard the repulsive voice of a fat man.
I wonder how I wish he would react if he referred to him as that. Oh, it's a fat man. He'd probably just chuckle at it, I'd imagine.
It was a wishes stand, trailed by a handful of police officers. He was acting energetically in a way unfitting given the situation.
There's not much left, but you can have some if you want.
Mion didn't like Wishisan very much. My cold attitude, though, didn't seem to bother Wishisan in the slightest. It was like splashing water in a frog's face. Well now, it's a soup leftovers have a bit too much salt for my taste. Confound it! Ha 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 ha! Would you all like it? Like any? He recommended it to his subordinates, but everyone gave dry smiles and refused.
So the police got hold of any clues?
Then his smile was warm enough to replace the miso soup. Don't you worry, little missy. Everything's fine. We're searching for them real good. He didn't say a word about having found any new clues. In other words, there had been no progress. That still was an annoying way of beating around the bush. In any case, it really has gotten late. All the youngsters should get on home and get some sleep. It'll be bad for your health otherwise.
Yeah, Kei-chan, Rena, get some rest. These guys get our tax money, they'll handle it from here for us.
We're taxpayers too, you know. It's like we're drinking our own piss. I really wasn't in the mood for laughter. In fact, Oishi-san was the only one laughing like an idiot.
Okay, seriously, please do your best. Let's go home, Keiichi. It'll be harder to wake up tomorrow if we don't.
Yes, that's right. I can always bring you home if you need. Uwe-chan, why don't you bring the car out? See, his assistant is always referred to that. So I guess that's how you can tell if it's Oishi if he doesn't appear on screen, if he's referring to his subordinates. No thanks. We came on our bicycles, so no need to worry. We came in a truck. We'll just throw the bikes in the back. They may have gotten pretty sleepy, but we just needed to ride home at this point. I didn't want to bother the police like that. Rena, however, nodded. Okay, if you insist, we'd appreciate it. It's probably safer than if we went back alone. When I thought about it carefully, I realized that Rena's idea was extremely rational. Maybe that was her saying, it's
Okay, if you insist, we'd appreciate it. It's probably safer than if we went back alone.
Oh, that is decided. Let's get a move on, shall we?
Okay, bye. Good night. Rena, Kei-chan. Yeah. Kei-chan, you go to bed soon too, okay? Good night.
I waved my hand as well, saying goodbye. Rika and Satoko still haven't been found. My unease, however, was steadily being pushed away by sleepiness. Rena showed the police where our bicycles were so that Oishi-san could haul them up into their truck. He prompted us to get into the back seats. I could hear the springs squeaking as I sat down onto the seats that would normally hit my rear end, but at this point, it was very soft and was more than comfortable enough for me to fall asleep on. Ladies first, we'll start with Little Mrs. House. Where do you live?
Thank you. My house is, well...
Rena's voice slowly grew distant. I felt myself being sucked into the void of sleep. Hello, my Bara-san. You asleep back there? When I came to, it was quiet. The car was parked. Oishi-san was giving me light slaps to the cheek. It didn't feel good at all, so I woke up immediately. Sorry, I just fell asleep. Something was being held right under my nose. A clump of metal. It was a can of coffee. It's lukewarm by now, but coffee latte is good even at room temperature. Oh, thanks. I mechanically took the can and opened the pull top. The feeling of the warm, sweet liquid going down my throat awakened my sleepy mind. When my drowsiness receded, I started wanting to know why the car was stopped and why I was offered coffee. Oishi-san, who had been in the driver's seat, had at some point moved to the back. Well, Keiichi, remember last time when you were confronted by Oishi and he questioned you? You don't suppose he's gonna, be like, okay, my bar, what do you know about this situation? Suddenly I had a very bad feeling about this. Now he realizes. It reminded me of the questioning yesterday at the library. I mean, it makes perfect sense for him to do this, though. It was already too late by the time I realized I'd made a mistake. Today of all days, it didn't look like I would be getting away. Had a feeling that until Oishi-san heard what he wanted to, he wouldn't be letting me go. Well, look at it this way, Keiichi. You hate the guy, you don't give a shit. Why don't you just tell him all about it? If there's all a case he confides in people what has happened and all that, and then they die, why not someone that he doesn't even like? I mean, not only that, not just for the sake of that, because that'd be pointless, but always she's like, he's got more connections, he's got more, he could do more, essentially. Please don't get all formal. I am not going to eat you, actually. My Bara-san. Rika-san gulped down the last of his coffee, then stretched wide, showing me how relaxed he was. Did I read the other line? I had a feeling that until Rika-san heard what he wanted to, he wouldn't be letting me go. That, however, only served to heighten my nervousness. What do you need from me? Need? Oh, no, nothing really. You're going to evade the question at this point. You're a deeply unreadable man. Well, I don't need you for anything. I just thought that you might need something from me, my Bara-san. I don't need anything. Oh, I see. Really? Are you sure there's nothing? There was only one side door in the back seat of this truck. In other words, my only exit was blocked off by Uishi-san. I couldn't get away. I could only limply hang my head and maintain my silence. Uishi-san, despite my resistance, relaxed and began smoking a cigarette. The cries of the insects outside seemed to be growing longer and longer, to an amount of time that almost seemed infinite. Jiro was sure that you had something you wanted to talk to me about. Uishi-san exhaled a puff of smoke. The windows were open, but the tobacco smoke still accumulated inside the vehicle. How much did Uishi-san know? What did he know, and what did he want to hear from me? If finding out the truth made him disappear, and if I told him, would Uishi-san disappear too? I had a feeling that I didn't need to worry about that in his case.
Yes, you know what I mean? He's like, I don't give a shit, Oishi.
You mean nothing but travel to me. I wonder how all this ended up happening. Uishi-san addressed me in a low tone as if he was talking to himself. How all this ended up happening? How the hell should I know? That was what I wanted to know. You know Jiro Tomitake-san and Mion Takano-san, right? I know you do because I personally witnessed you with them during the festival along with Shion Sonozaki-san. Do you know how Tomitake-san and Takano-san are doing now? They're actually, well, passed away. They met very untimely deaths. Uishi-san probably played that card in order to surprise me. However, I already knew and didn't display the extreme reaction he expected. What's this? Did you already know? Unfortunately for this question in particular, remaining silent was equivalent to saying yes. Oh, so did you also know? The reason Tomitake-san and Takano-san were cursed like that. People are saying that apparently they went into some forbidden building. A storehouse for ritual implements. That forbidden shed sealing away Inbizawa's bloodstained past. When the mistake that started it all happened. Do you know about the rumors that say the mayor and Rika san were cursed because of that too? Could mean it was mine and Shion's hearts. Well, rumors went well. But it'd have to be pretty quick rumors for the Rika one, wouldn't it? Well, you know, they are all gathered there, so he probably overheard some of the villagers mumbling about it, I'd imagine. Just like, what if she was cursed? He was right. As soon as we revealed what we did. What did they call it? A ritual storehouse. They say it was bad luck. The lock to it had been replaced by a simple one, which made it easier for thieves to get inside. What? This was news to me. What do they call it? Ritual storehouse? They're saying it was bad luck. The lock to it had been replaced by a simple one. Oh yeah, it's confusing because in Takano's notes that we read in the tips, it's already been mentioned with us, but he didn't know about that, did he? Until last year, it apparently had 3 big bars and a huge padlock on it. I mean, you know, ever since the priest and his wife passed away, Higurashi has been managing the place for us. Apparently, she talked to the mayor, saying she wanted them replaced with a lighter, more simple padlock because the bars were too heavy for her. I didn't know anything about those big bars he was talking about, but the lock had certainly been a simple one. It was a pretty cheap one too, and it didn't really fit my impression of what a lock for a place you'd store something as important as ritual implements would look like. Rika-chan is a small girl after all. The bars were heavy with rust, and they must have caused her a lot of trouble. So the mayor hired a craftsman to replace the lock with a simple padlock, so she could open it with a key. So, how does that mean it was bad luck? Here's what I'm saying. Thieves couldn't get in with the old tight lock. Mion and Rika-san replaced it with a cheap lock and key on their own, so thieves broke into it. Apparently that's how it's going down. So that explanation's of it. Letting that slide, certain members of the village delivered punishment upon the thieves who stole into the ritual storehouse, as well as the mayor and Rika-san who changed the lock. At least those are the whispers that seem to be going around. My Barbara-san. What do you think? What do I think? I don't really know what you mean by certain members of the village. Are you familiar with the three families? Representatives from each of them gave short addresses at the Watanagashi Festival's opening ceremony. Did you see them? I came partway through the festival, so I don't really... Three families are the three oldest families in Hinmizawa. To give actual names, the Keiichi family, the Sonozaki family, and the Furude family. They each have quite the lineage, it seems. Long ago it said that everything in the village was decided by a council of the three families. The Keiichi family, Old Man Keiichi, meaning the mayor's family. The Sonozaki family is Mion's, so the Furude family was Rika-chan's family then. After the war, the Sonozaki family quickly expanded their influence. Practically speaking, after leading the fight against the construction during the dam conflict, they jumped to the top of the hierarchy in Hinmizawa. You see, though, in accordance with the old ways, they still did decide important village matters only after consulting with the three families. That's why the leaders of the three families each have their own address at the start of Watanagashi. In other words, the mayor, the old lady currently in charge of the Sonozaki family, and the last remaining member of the Furude family, Rika-chan. I heard that the Sonozaki family was pretty high up there, so Rika-chan's family was just as old? Well, as you're aware, she has no relatives at all. In reality, the Furude family holds pretty much no influence. However, it seems like people gravitate towards Rika-san on a personal level. And I hear that many of the villagers elderly have blind faith in her. It was certainly true that Rika-chan had an odd sort of charisma amongst the elderly. So, what do you tell me about all this free family stuff for? Rika-san paused for emphasis, lighting another cigarette. I've explained a lot, but I suppose it's still not enough. I'm asking because I don't understand. And the bird chirps at these insects. Are they Higurashi? Maybe. Because, you know, Higurashi when they cry is the title after all. There's a lot of those bastards. Wish you gave me a dry, meaningful grin and blew out another big puff of smoke. Members of the Free family are disappearing one after the other. That's what I'm talking about. I've read about it based on some kind of old traditions inherited in Hinmizawa, but I don't know much beyond that. I don't know anything about it either. That's why I'm asking. The leaders of the Keiichi and Rena families have disappeared, so maybe the leader of the Sonozaki family will disappear next. Well, that's just a random idea bouncing around in my head at the moment. Just kidding, really. The leader of the Sonozaki family, who is it? The current leader is the old lady at their main house, but it wouldn't be incorrect to say that practically all the rights of leadership being transferred to her granddaughter Mion-san. Visage of Mion giving prompt directions to the adult sources and the Rika-chan has sprung back to mind. Mion? She's gonna disappear? I hadn't even thought of that possibility. All my hair stood on end. It's insane. Nobody wants that right. Of course not. We can't allow that. Plan? Rika-san grabbed my shoulders with both hands. Then help us, my barson. If there's anything you've noticed about Mion-san lately, please tell me. I was going along with him. By the time I'd realized it, it was too late. Rika-san brought his face in closer, almost close enough to ram into me, waiting for my next words. This pressure, I can't tear my eyes away from his. That moment I heard a beeping sound. It was from the driver's seat. He ignored it at first, but then it started to bother him, so he finally let go of me and leaned into the driver's seat. Hello. Yep, loud and clear. I was saved. Of course, it's not like I could escape through this opening. I see. Yes, alright. Let's head back then. Yes. Okay. Apparently he was being recalled. Now that I knew I'd be free, the tension in my body dissipated all at once. Looks like I need to get going. We were just getting to the good part too. That's too bad. Rika-san flung open the door, exited, and walked around the front of the driver's seat. You left the door open. Does that mean I could leave? You really care about your friends, my Bar-san. An admirable trait for a kid to have in this day and age. I totally understand that it feels like you're betraying them if you told the police anything. My Bar-san, it's the middle of the night, so get a good night's sleep and then think of it. Just a little bit of courage from you might end up being what saves many of your friends in the end. Did he want to say that the sacrifices wouldn't stop with Rika-chan and Satoko? You know this already, but every night since Watanagashi, something has happened. In the past, the curse only occurred once per year, but this time it's been going on for days. What a prosperous year this has been. I don't think you can call that prosperous. The night before last night, and now today. There's no proof that something won't happen tomorrow night as well. It's our job to prevent such things before they happen. But for that, we need your cooperation, my Bar-san. I looked out the open door to see none other than my own house right in front of me. It creeped me out that he knew my name and address, but I was too sleepy right now. I was too sleepy to care. Well, you're probably tired. It's already 3 in the morning. Please get yourself a good rest. Yes, sir. I'll be going now. When I was about to get out of the truck, as if to deliver a parting blow, Oishi-san said in a raised voice, I'll be coming by every day until you feel like talking, alright? I don't believe forcing you to confess in an interrogation room is really in fashion these days. I couldn't say anything in response, but me slamming the door shut probably served the same purpose. After lightly beeping the horn, Oishi-san's truck drove off. I went to the front door without waving goodbye. The door was locked, but the chain wasn't up. I unlocked the door and entered. Then walked over to the staircase. That was where I lost consciousness. Damn, he must have been mega exhausted. Can't blame him, really. Higurashi when they cry. I mean, that's mental fatigue as well, like to the extreme. Higurashi when you cry. You got another fucking scrapbook and another scrapbook. Achievement unlocked, empty-handed. Fuck. It's like scenes like this that I was like always dreaded when like I'd think, oh, someday maybe I'll LP the Higurashi novels. It's shit like that that made me reluctant. It's like, no man, it's just, oh no. And even though it's like, you know, more screwed up than Onikakushi is, there's a lot more to this scenario that gets revealed in Miyakashi. Well, Meakashi, I think it's probably pronounced as. Which is the answer arc, and currently the only answer arc released on Steam is the answer arc to this one, and it's the only one, like I said, that follows it pretty much, rather than being different but explaining stuff at the same time if we're making any sense. And it's more disturbing than you could possibly imagine. It's just like shit. And even with that, I don't really know what I'd consider to be the most messed up one. Personally, I think it's either the answer arc to this one, or the answer arc to the third question arc, if that made any sense. Which will be the question arc that we'll go for after this. But I'm rambling now. Man. Just, god damn, why? Higurashi when they cry. That last bit, man, it's just like, god damn it. Tragedy. And I can't even just go into full-on comic relief in those scenes, man. I just can't do that. Well, I could, but it'd be inappropriate, man. I mean, sure, I did like some passing comic relief here and there, but, you know, during those scenes, you gotta, like, you know, don't freaking screw it up by making stupid jokes. Because that shit is, like, impactful, powerful shit, man. But, anyways, I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.